All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 10 of the Wavlength INTL podcast. I'm your host, Jazzwave, and in this week's grab bag episode, we've got NASB 2, or just NASB in general, This is a game that I've been, for the most part, pretty on the fence about trying because of the price point, but I was like, you know what? I have a really soft spot for Nickelodeon in general, because I used to play a lot of what's it called, Super Brawl growing up as a child. So I was like, when I first saw Naz, Nick is actually getting its own fighting game. I really wanted to try it out, but it's sad that NASB 1 didn't do the greatest, and then I was kind of iffy on the price point. But I was like, I still have a soft spot for this game. I really want to try it. I managed to get it for a really cheap price. I ended up liking the game, and so definitely one of the games on my radar that I would like to see make a big comeback despite its setbacks with the first one. But who better to talk about NASB stuff in general than other than our two wonderful guests tonight, Blackimar and Cherry. Blackimar and Cherry, how are you doing?
You can take it first, Cherry.
We both are waiting. I'm doing well. It was very not even to get too much into it, but NASB has been doing a lot this week with just different types of events, and we just recently finished off Pressure Point, which was an in-person event in Canada, and it was the first time I think I've definitely ever been to Canada and definitely hosted an event, so that was pretty fun. Definitely for NASB overall.
Yeah, dude. I'm doing pretty great. Thanks for having us, Pretty cool. Watch the Collision top 8 for Rivals 2. That show was crazy. Bro, 4 for the abs. That character doesn't suck. Y'all just suck. You feel me?
See? True.
But it's good. Of course, NASB great. I'm definitely looking forward to NASB Junior. The next one, I think that's next Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, Cherry.
The 30th.
Yeah.
Okay. August 30th.
Okay,
and for those that don't know, NASB Junior is kind of like our Arcadian / intermediate beginner event. So we always try to do a very big online series for just people trying to get into it, because we have all these players that are super invested in terms of just playing, but they're just not top level. So then they'll enter our open weekly and just get stomped. And we're like, well, NASB Junior, dude, we're banning all those people. You don't have to deal with the guy who has no job, or the 10-year-old that is going crazy. It's just you and whoever else is just like you. That's it. And it's a great time.
Real. It's so good, especially because I feel like small communities are all of course great because we're all super close and shit like that. But the downside of that is though you have these 15 and 20 player brackets, and more than half of the people will be fucking crazy compared to the people who don't play that much. So I definitely shout out to Cherry, Crane, Nick Jr. It's definitely been super dope. Definitely back in the middle of NASB 1 days, if I remember correctly. At first got around, but it's definitely been super helpful for getting interests of people. It's always a fun time. It's always super fun to watch, dude.
Yeah.
Long intro, but
No, not a problem.
No, it's not a problem. Speaking of just more intros, why don't you each tell us about yourselves and how you got started? Was NASB your first I'm all in on this plat fighter type stuff, or taking on the role of doing commentary or being a TO? Just floor's yours.
You want me to go first?
Please do, Mr. Cherry.
Sure. So I got into NASB 1 in I was playing it since its release in October of 2021. But I kind of was just like a guy, like everyone else. You play the game, you go enter tournaments, you watch the brackets, the majors. I never got to be able to go to any of the offline things for NASB 1 back when it was hosted at main stage and all those events. Genesis, I just was in college at the time and was nowhere near the ability of traveling. But around May of, I think, 2022, it must have been, I started hosting NASB Junior, and I was just like, guys, it would be really cool if there was a beginner level event, because I'm ass at this game. I'm an 0-2 every week, and I'm getting 4-stock type 0-2, not even it's a close match type. So between Blackimar and then there was a bunch of other people that also came together and were like, yeah, we're helping fund the prize pool, and that kind of just made me be like, all right, well, I'm bought all into this community. It was just the welcoming aspect of it. They see a good idea, they want to support it, and not only do they like pull you up, you know, and bring you up with the scene and make sure your idea is a success, but they also just kind of make sure that other people that may have wanted to participate know that your idea exists. So for me, that was like what pulled me into it. And then ever since then, I started with NASB Juniors and then quickly got into like hosting offline events at Combo Breaker and Frosty Faustings and other events as well. And I kind of have just been doing it ever since then. That was like kind of my first game I ever bought into. I was an Smash Ultimate TO before that, but realistically, I just kind of did my own thing. I'd host some locals here or there, host an online thing during the pandemic, and beyond that, I really didn't like do too much with the game. So that's kind of my little spiel.
Okay.
Yeah, with me, it's kind of interesting because like I was more into the traditional FGC side of things before NASB one. Like I played a lot of Smash, you know, competed local tournaments sometimes. When Tag Blackimar actually came from the Black Olimar outfit I used to use back in Brawl. So it's a fun fact on that. But yeah, I didn't really get super into Platform Fighter before Nick one. I mean, like I did again casually playing tournaments. I was a part of I worked for Thunder Gaming back when they were a thing, so I helped with like their tournaments like that back when they were around. Was casually into things like Rivals Ether 1, dude. I was actually really like Rivals Ether 1 a lot, even though, you know, you probably don't see it much of me, but like I kind of just lurked heavy before. But yeah, when Nick 1 was just like, holy shit. Like I played like Platform Fighters like and fighting games kind of like I'm just because I said them both fighting games, but like seeing that was like, holy shit, why is this game so fucking fun, dude? Because you know, it's just and just so unique too. For some reason, it just really drew me in. In terms of commentating the game, I actually wanted to. I was kind of interested in commentating fighting games for a few years before that point. There's definitely games like Pokken was one I considered, as well as Smash Ultimate. But for some reason, it was a funny Nickelodeon game because I got so into it, and like aside from a couple people, naming like you, Tekk, and like Pride, like I felt like there was no one. I think it was back during the RTC meta days when that shit was really good in that game.
Yeah.
Like I started commentating because like I feel like people aren't taking this game seriously right now, and everyone sounds miserable on the mic, and like it sucks, and like I wanted people to, you know, enjoy the game because I still enjoyed it. I was like getting down through it all day by Andrewy, bro. I was like, this is cool. This game's fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? Still, just like just spreading that appreciation and like for these lesser known games, definitely something that really like resonated me early on. You know. That's why I commentate like a bunch of these platform fighters that aren't Smash. You know, I feel like they need more prominent voices, people like that. So I'm like, I'm you know, blessed and honored to be one of those. You know,
a legend. I remember the couch days. The couch days were sick. You, me, Pride, Valley, throwing it and holding it down, bro. That stuff that was some fun times.
It really was, dude.
Clips.
That's not kind of why I started. Like, it was one of the first things I commentated to. Yeah, just the PX events too, and like. It's so crazy seeing just how far those went and just how like I commentate other shit come that, dude. It's always crazy to think like, damn, if they hired me because I'm good at commentating SpongeBob, what the hell is this, dude? Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember when they had Hidden Temple, and that was a great event to watch. I didn't get to go, but I do remember we almost had the couch. We almost had the couch, which would have been fire.
It was fucking incredible, man.
And
real quick, just shout out Max Ketchum real quick because that event was definitely spectacular. It's magical. That was the first time I met all these NASB folks, and in fact, they helped like crowdfund me out to that event to commentate too, which is actually so insane and humbling to do. But like, yeah, it was. Big shout out Max Ketchum, dude. For sure.
They had fire skits, fire merch, fire side events. All of it was fucking great, actually. It was super sick. And then Genesis, you and Pride, y'all commentated top 8 Genesis. And that was sick. You almost didn't because you almost stopped.
Yeah, I got 9. I got out at 9.
Because they were like, what are we going to do? We don't have backups.
The curse of you did so well, you almost forgot to commentate.
Yeah,
that was just fire.
That's like a big part, actually, why I like stopped competing whenever I commentate. Because like, for me, commentating just always would be my priority. And like, me as a competitive person, I'm like, I know that before I competed, would get like those priorities mixed up. So like, focus on commentary. It's definitely better.
Yeah.
You know, like the NASB version of Akashi. That's our commentator who
Yeah,
also
Really?
started
true.
attacking and then realizes, oh hey, I have to do commentary. How about I not?
And someone's got to do it,
in.
you know, right?
Right?
That's badass. I like how. So I knew Blackimar's story because I was there for like most of it, right? But
You
it's,
were.
it's great because it's super nostalgic. So it's like it's super hype seeing where you are now. And Cherry, you and I, we talked a little bit like towards the end of NASB 1, beginning of NASB 2, because and this is gonna be kind of like a segue, because when we had, I forget, it might have been Elitist Grinders or whatever server we were in, y'all were all talking about like getting ready to make content. And
The content server.
yeah, and
that's like some hidden lore.
yeah, and then because I was on my content grind because I was on my like fuck rivals streaming shit because I was just pissed off, and I was like I gotta just grind, and then we all had like that huge VC, and then just a bunch of like the whole questionnaire thing and all that stuff, and all of y'all really took it and just fucking ran with it. And I just want to say that like I'm proud of all of y'all because I have talked to probably at least like 50-60 people that have asked me, what do I do? How do I grow on social media? And I lay it out just like I laid it out for y'all. And y'all are like, I've never had a singular group of people all do it at once. Like you, Blackimar, Nick Brawl guy, like Tafar asked like a couple questions at one point. Some others who I'm forgetting right now. And I was just like, what the fuck? I've never had so many people just listen and do and find their own path and do their own shit and then just do it. So like, I think that was super badass because y'all have both been on the grind, and then others, you know, they're still doing, like, I see Tafar's post about like him making the game and everything that he's going with college, which is super fucking cool. And just all y'all just doing y'all's thing. And I think that's like super sick. And I want to go into like, we had this conversation. I know the answer already, but do you think that content creation in terms of like the streaming and making videos and doing the tweets and promoting all this other stuff, do you think it's helped grow the game to where it is now?
Yeah.
And how have y'all found, besides the love of the game, how have you found that motivation to just keep doing it continuously?
Rivals community, listen and take notes.
This is why I'm asking.
So,
Certain community
For me,
upsets me.
for me, it's just like, dude, I have grown so much just from talking on Twitter, which it's a dying social media site for sure, but like that's a whole other conversation. But even on Twitter, like alone, I've been able to push people not just to like interact here, but through our talks, like go from here on Twitter to Twitch streams to find the VODs on YouTube to watch my tier list. You know, it's like a whole circle. You get your ecosystem. But for me, it's like you get networking. You get certain people. Like for me, Platfight, for instance, was a huge like positive impact for our community. And a lot of that simply would have never happened if like a year before, well, I guess almost 2 years before Platfight ever happened, that I wasn't marketing my events on Twitter hard enough for where like people like Locus, who were affiliated with people that worked for Platfight, for him to register and actually buy into the game itself. And it started this whole like domino effect of Locus knows people that want to do a Platfighter event, and those people like Locus and trust him. Locus, it becomes a top player of NASB and enters my events weekly. He has a huge voice on social media. It impacts my events by getting that kind of raised and on a pedestal of, well, this person's entering, the rest of us should enter. And eyeballs become more prevalent on the event as well. And then Platfight kind of comes in and says, we want you and NASB at Platfight and Blackimar as well, commentating, TOing, and just being a part of the event as a whole with your game. And there are so many other opportunities from that and other things where it's like you grow not only as like a TO, but just like if you're a player, making content is huge. Making guides, making whatever has really impacted people so heavily in terms of growing a community and keeping it fresh, and like it's definitely had a huge impact on our community. And for me, it's like I see people now, I don't even know who they are. They'll be in like the YouTube VOD channel for like the tournaments. And they'll be like, I'm commenting so that this gets some more people because more people need to see this game. And it's like, that's how I feel. I agree. You should comment.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool to see people just like also be as insane and buy in because they can tell you're doing something special and they also want to like contribute to that. So for me, that's just why I keep doing it.
So you would say that making easily digestible video content is a lot more intuitive than making like a 20 to 30 page Word document in a Discord that you have to navigate to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I hate guides in the Discord. Yeah. We had that issue I think a lot with NASB 1. Towards the beginning there was a lot of content for NASB 1. Tafar was like a really good one that comes to mind with like the devious link guides and there was other videos as well, but just like in this game, being able to have things that are made in like Google Drives or Google Docs that then get published on like wikis and stuff like that, or like turned into video guides. Like most of our top players so far, I've been pushing for them to make guides, and we have like a Danny Phantom guide now. We have a SpongeBob combo guide. There's like a Patrick guide out. There's a Jimmy guide being written. There's a core guide that's like well written and was able to get Fiction, the melee player, into the game. And he was so into it because of that one guide that was actually not stuck in a Discord that he was pushing the game as if it was like the second coming of Melee or something. Like it was like, he was like, this is Melee 2 guys. Like he locked in and just fully bought in. And so it's like stuff like that where it's like, where it's not just stuck in a server or it's not stuck in a grind cord and it's not like limited to discord.com, you know, or Reddit. Like moving it along in terms of becoming a video is just so important. So
yeah,
I agree.
100%.
No, most definitely. It's interesting because like I feel like a lot of my like obviously Cherry, he's like holds down the Nick 2 stuff for sure, but for me, I kind of got burned out around Nick 2 coming out, so like a lot of my experience creating content and stuff like that was the Nick 1 days. You know, and definitely I think a big important thing to just keep in mind as a community, if you're not making content about something that you find dope, people aren't going to know it's dope. And like that's like something that's like so important to just keep in mind. Like it's kind of a hassle to me, honestly, kind of creating content because I know I'm not as natural as this fucker. And I think you have to left on the stream over here and that fucker over there, but you know, but like it's still like super just important, man. Just like for example, stuff did for sure. Cause like God, it's funny thinking because even like Nick 2 at least like looks cool, you know, so it's easier to push. Nick 1, keep it about that game looks like shit. I'm not gonna hold you. It definitely does, despite how much I fucking love it. But you know, it's just like there's so many times with things just like from my tier list videos or like me sort of like streaming the last hour of the Hidden Temple donations and even the streams too. Like we did like a lot of Nick and Night streams, just the community just bullshitting around in a Discord call in the lobby. Like it's crazy just how little things like that can really just boost awareness. Because like there's definitely been people that have like talked to me about like the game off of all those things. Like, oh, I didn't even know people were playing this game, and like, yeah, we're here, we're done. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely just off, like as Cherry pointed out, just opens a lot of avenues too. Even like I think it's kind of like if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but like I thought it's kind of like how it got SPS's radar to get a heat wave. That definitely was kind of pushing heavy for the game to be included. I think that was kind of off the back of, you know, just that work off of putting the content that sort of results in the networking opportunities coming to you. Just like that, dude. So it's, again, I know it's a hassle for sure, but super, super necessary if you want to grow your scene.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I've watched, even though like I kind of took a step back, like I watched from afar and I was like, dude, this is fucking sick, man. Like getting over to Heatwave, y'all are still doing y'all's thing, not stopping like hosting the weeklies and stuff. You get building those connections and y'all are just active on everything, as opposed to like, you know, a certain plat fighter only being active mainly on just Twitter. I'm like, you got to do more than just Twitter, bro. You can't just be on Twitter and Discord and expect shit to. Yeah, but bro, if you just go to this section under Crag, and then you scroll a little bit, and then you find the guy. You can read it and figure it out yourself. You can do it. It's right there. Just read. Most
Dude,
of us can't read.
I'll just chime in on that, bro, because like I 100% feel you, dude. It's been annoying because like for me, I don't know if you know my Rivals 2 experience, but like I kind of like got to when it first came out. I kind of like guxed it out, like I don't know if I'm feeling this back in January. Give it a try back in June, or started really loving it back in June, and like it's crazy because like I was looking for resources. There's so few, so little shit. There's so few content creators for this. I know people like Last Stock, people like Wisely. Last Stock's pretty good. He definitely makes good stuff for sure. But there's so few channels and stuff like that. I feel like, dude, what's going on, man? It's just like, especially with how like popping the game is competitively. Like, please, content, dude. I need it. Like, what am I gonna watch?
I think
Yeah.
part of that problem. Go ahead, Shadow.
Sorry. As I mentioned this problem before, like a few years ago, but one of the main issues that like the Rivals community tends to have when it comes to content is most people are like, I'm not gonna say socially inept, that's a little too harsh, but it's like they don't understand why content is important, even though they kind of expect it to just be there. They're kind of like, it's very click based if you haven't noticed, you know? So it can be really hard to just like find it as like a new player or someone just getting into the scene if you're not already part of a certain clique.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the devs make more content than most of the community really says something, you know. Now, granted, there are more streamers. This isn't just the shit on Rivals 1 and Rivals 2 podcast. I mean, it usually is. But there are more streamers for the game, but like streams only last so long. You can only watch so many hours of fucking ranked or watching your favorite top player play a character that you think is dog shit so you can learn something for so long, because you're not going to retain that information unless you save
at least
clips.
I was like, if you're doing that, at least put some like clip compilation together or something, bro. Hit the YouTube with that.
I was just gonna say though, I am proud of Rivals for actually streaming, because the entirety of Rivals 1, like even like Cake and like whoever else, no one really
didn't.
No one did that.
We've had
so like I will give the props to Stango and Cake and like Zeke and like Wisely and
So many actually.
whoever Zap and the other ones I kind of see, like or Zeus as well. Like
Zeus,
the ones that like they're always around, you know, at least on Twitch and Twitter. It's like you can see them in those two places. But it's like, why the fuck doesn't anybody just post a video of them doing a tier list? I feel like I never see it. It maybe was happening, but I swear I only see it on Twitter. It's like, dude, that's easy content farming for NASB, dude. Like if I just made a tier list like 4 months ago. I'm itching for that month 6 to roll around, so I can just be like, guys, the meta has shifted, because that's an easy 4,000 views. That's so easy.
Yes, from both of our experience, we've experienced the same shit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, no one's gonna ever agree on a tier list. Period.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's content farming. It's content. It doesn't need to be agreed upon.
Exactly.
That's like even better if they don't agree. If it's actually better if they don't agree, because it's like, why the fuck did you put Garfield that low? Yada yada. So it's like, comment, bro. Hey, appreciate it.
Dude. I literally put Aang purposefully low on a tier list I made like a year ago, just to rile the Aang players up to enter brackets, and it worked. And Aang won a bracket a week later.
That's
literally Jakkuno.
Kuno.
That's Aang Jakkuno. He barely fucking. I hate him so much. That's my nigga though. I don't know if I can say that word here. I'm sorry. That's my guy though.
No, you're gone.
Word. Okay. Word. That's my nigga. Then you feel me? He barely enters stuff, and like I remember he hit me up right after Cherry posted that too. He said, "Bro, what the fuck is he talking?" And like, it works, dude.
Like, and that's what I wanted. I wanted people to be so mad that they would prove it, and I'm like, yeah, it works, man. And then it's just like, I'm definitely gonna be putting a tier list out where Garfield's top 1 or top 2, and people are gonna be like, no, he's not, and like, well, somebody's got to be Thunder's Reign at some point, because I don't know, you can't just like. Apparently, when Locust wins every week, Beavers is top 1, but now that Locust isn't winning every week, and Murga's only wins when Thunders doesn't enter, somehow like Garfield isn't top 1. I don't know, guys. Kind of fishy.
Thunder's being godlike, dude. It's the Thunder's, bro. So the Thunder's different. Dude.
You want to know who that is for here?
It's King. Oh, Plop. Yeah.
It is the
that
Plop difference.
That makes sense.
when I was getting back into NASB 2, me and my boy Skeptic, who's in chat right now, we watched the tier list. He didn't want to watch the whole tier list. He's like, just skip to the end, bro. Skip to the end. Because we were playing, it was Rocksteady. I was playing Rocksteady.
Oh my god.
And he was playing, who the fuck was he playing, Jazz?
Nigel, I think.
No, not Nigel. The other one. The tiger.
Oh, El
Tigre.
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 Oh my god.
And he
my
looked,
God.
and he's like, "Ain't no fucking way! El Tigre is S tier, and you have fucking Rocksteady is the worst character in the game. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Has this dude ever ran attorney? Like." He said, if Rocksteady's on the screen, El Tigre is F tier, bro. He's just F tier. Like, he just sucks. He can't recover. He can't do anything. He's not insta snapping the ledge. He's just gonna get hit by barrel.
Oh,
he just
that's
dies.
so funny.
All you do is
It's
line
true.
mine, and then barrel, and then kill me, and then grab.
That's so fucking funny.
So
And then he
Rocksteady's
just
gonna
proceeds
go-
to go for shine dare loops.
Yeah.
on the
Oh, yeah.
Tigre.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's like just zero to death them. Just zero to death with El
Dude.
Tigre. It's easy.
Dude,
Just do it.
Tigre is that character is that character finding that
He's
character for like
stupid.
oppression, bro. Finding that character for like fighting oppression, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's
He's
that bad.
stupid. He's stupid. Man. Dude, what's
See what
crazy?
I say,
'Cause
Skeptic? Tigre can do it.
He said, El-
people be
Oh
saying
my
the same
God.
thing though. Like to make him feel better though. People will be saying that within the community that know better, and they still are saying the same thing. They're like, Rocksteady is broken. I keep picking the same dual plat stages, and he keeps camping under those stages and throwing barrel, and he's winning. Why is he winning? It's like, because you're picking the stages he's good on. What are we doing, guys? Come on. It's like, no, he's broken. It's like,
so
he's
funny.
bottom two.
It's so funny. I love playing Rocksteady. That shit is so fucking funny, bro. That shit-
He's a meme character. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
pretty
it.
much.
I never thought I'd be playing Rocksteady and fucking Azula and Iroh.
I know.
And I'm like, I'm on the right side of the fucking list. Like,
Crazy combination.
yeah. I still love Beavers,
That's like-
and Zuko just doesn't make sense in my brain. I think he's cool as shit. I just can't. Something
Me
doesn't
too.
compute. I'm like,
That's
all
fair.
right, whatever.
Me
I'll
too.
just watch
It's
him.
okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
I love playing.
he's
He's
fun to
so
watch.
fun. He's
Yeah.
so
Eye
fun to
candy.
play too.
I
I
can.
can't. That's
I
crazy.
can't. It's a
so
crazy way to
funny.
put it, but yeah, yeah.
It's true. He's so fun to watch.
It's like, whoa, look at that sup bear slime cancel
Yum.
Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Yum, yum. Mm.
So there's another question. This is like we already kind of touched on it a little bit, just with how involved y'all are, but without having like basically a lot of help from the devs, because at first like the devs were kind of with y'all like in NASB 2, but like it's not anymore. How did
Yeah.
y'all like just find the drive to keep going besides just for the love of the community? Like if you want to talk about like that journey briefly.
Yeah. There was definitely a point. The lowest point I would say was the second most recent patch, patch 1.12.
Mm.
And this was the longest the game had gone without an update between that patch and what we're currently on, 1.13. And to put it in perspective, 1.13 did a huge rework to a couple of the better characters in the game and a couple of the bad characters in the game that made those bad characters really good and made those good characters somehow even better than they already were. And they already were very much disliked. So it was just a bad patch overall, like in terms of what the community was asking for. And Iroh had also come out, and he was rushed, unfortunately, just due to the publisher kind of forcing him to come out
Mhm.
early. And he was very unfinished. So on top of that, he was a character that basically we wanted to ban the moment he came out. That was how degenerate he was. And I was really pushing it. Other TOs were like, no, just let it rock, like whatever. And I was like, this is crazy. I was going crazy.
I can tell you,
behind the
he was
scenes.
definitely going crazy behind the scenes. to talk to him. I can tell you.
It was really stressful because for me, it wasn't just like I don't care necessarily about the state of the game, like balance wise, but it's like if people are leaving or not having fun or like events are not getting above like even like a small entrant count, that's concerning for me. And it's like, how do you reverse that? And even the Arcadian was going down, and even like there was no amount of money you could throw into prize pools. You'd probably get the same amount of people. Every week there'd be another person saying, I just can't take it anymore. This is just too much. We tried everything. We tried rule changes and stock count changes and bans, and like nothing was working. And so at one point I was like, dude, like I don't know what to do anymore. Like there's nothing that's possible to do. And it really came down to like the community that was there just saying like, we're going to help make sure that like we obviously know another patch is coming, but we want you to know that like no matter like how few entrants, people will still always enter this game and like participate in matchmaking and participate on quick play and ranked, and there's always gonna be people that will play. So no matter what happens, like you can relax. So it really came down to the community saying like you don't need to think about this as much as you're thinking about it, because one, the light is coming, you know, like this will be fixed, but also like even if it's not somehow, it'll be fine. And to put it in perspective even more so, this was a very dark time because we also had an issue where I think it was like a year ago in like late July, the publisher also forgot to pay the bill for the servers.
You can't make that shit up, literally.
No,
Yes.
dead ass. So what happened was there was there was about 3 weeks or a month or so, give or take, where we thought the game was being shut down because the max amount of players you could have online, even with crossplay, was like 100 people, and it was somehow always at the cap. So like it went from being like you could have as many people as own the game playing to only 100. So you just couldn't host tournaments because it was already always populated with the max amount. You couldn't enter ranked. You couldn't like just play the game. So we had to mod in custom servers, which, by the way, if the game ever does actually get shut down or something, that's a really cool feature to be able to just do. We can just have our own servers. But on side note aside, like this was a really scary time because not only was a very unpopular patch and whatever that was happened, there was a lot of things going on. So somehow we were able to like put it in perspective. We survived a bad patch and literally the server shutting off for a month. And people still want to play the game.
Yeah, that would literally like would for any other game that would just be a plague of the century right there.
That was I was so stressed. There was bugs I was told about like in beta for like the new patch where it was like if you killed somebody at the same time and you died, like the screen would go black, and I'm like, guys, we need to fix this. Like, what's going on? And like then I'd be told, guys, it's fixed. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Like all of these things that you're thinking about will not exist anymore. And it was just like, wow, like we survived. Like when 1.13 patched in November, that dropped like a week or two before Heatwave last year, or this, I guess still this year, but last Heatwave, and it was like, holy cow, the suffering, it's over. And ever since then, it's been like we suffered for success. Like that, like there is no harm you could do to this game that will ever cause it to like die. Like this game literally cannot be killed. That's, I don't know. Like that's why I'm so motivated still. It's just like
that's so
we survived everything.
Really impressive.
fucking sick. I'm sad that I wasn't around for that. Because
Why are you sad you weren't around? That shit sucks.
I would have loved to
You
be
weren't.
around for that, bro. I was around for
Dude,
I was around for Dark like Rivals 1 times where like delay base was like dog shit and stuff. But like for y'all to
Yeah.
come out on top with all that shit happening, and y'all are just like, yeah, we're still gonna play the game. All the servers, was that thanks to a certain potential Sanji, or was that other people in the community?
No.
The Dark Times for Rivals 1 was the initial release of rollback netcode.
Oh,
Yeah, I
true.
remember that.
True.
I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
But to give the crown to the one who earned it, this was Markovan. So this is like Sanji 2, basically.
Oh,
He
shit.
he is so good at modding. He's created so many insane mods for the game. Like quite literally like god mode like level mods. I have a video called like these mods are insane or something from NASB 2, just highlighting a couple of the things he's made, but like he basically found out that like the provider of the netcode of the game is the same netcode provider as the mobile game Stumble Guys. If you've ever heard of Stumble Guys,
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I've heard of it.
Crazy.
Basically
so
a Fall Guys ripoff, pretty much.
yes. It also features SpongeBob, by the way. Just to also
does.
it does. So
Crazy
basically,
crossover.
yeah, right. So they found out that you can request a dev server for free of charge forever, but the max amount of players you can have on it is 100 people. And so what he did was he basically modded his server into the game. So like if the game were to shut down, we would still have the same exact netcode we would have right now, which by the way is playable Europe to North America like completely fine. It's like literally the best feeling netcode for a plat fighter. I don't understand why, but Like genuinely, I'm not like shitting. Like I'm not lying. Like it is. So like even if the game were to shut down, we just have this as a backup now. Like very easy to install. You literally just drag a file and plug it in. That's it.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, it's so cool. We survived. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we lived.
Right. I can't really add too much because obviously, you know, you experienced the brunts of the trauma. I'm trusting. The homie Cherry was going crazy that time, bro.
He was the front line. He was the front line, just like hold it back.
Yeah.
That shit's I love you guys, man. That shit's so fucking sick, man.
I will say Blackimar, he's not giving himself enough credit because I mean I'm not a beta tester by the way. Like I talk.
Yeah. Oh
obviously
yeah.
I talk to Blackimar. Blackimar, he definitely is like the silent shadow hero. Like it's like him, Bean, TNT. Those are like the Three Musketeers in regards to like fighting evil, you know, and making things right, like behind the scenes, balance wise, and finding stuff wise, and making hard calls where those need to be made.
Yeah,
But
for the culture, I was a tester for the game and balance consultant since like January 2023, and it came out in November that year, I think. So definitely a lot of behind the scene decisions with that patch, particularly the last one, or the second to last one, the one no shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was super rough. I kind of like didn't commentate much because like the community vibes kind of bummed me out a little bit. At the same time, I was constantly hitting these devs up and constantly trying to contact game mail all the time, to the point where literally Nacho, shout out the homie, he literally blocked me. I was spamming him every fucking day. I'm like, hey, are you guys want to talk about this game? Do you want to like, hey, they're kind of struggling over there, bro. We posting bug reports every fucking day in this bitch, you feel me? So it's just like, it was pretty bad. I feel like they probably fucking hate me at this point now, but I'm super glad that the work I did to annoy them, 'cause I was definitely the person leading the charge and annoying them into fixing shit, aside from obviously chair the community. We're just like, I was always in their back, like, hey, you know, we're just gonna talk about this, you know?
That's what it takes.
Right now.
That's what it takes, man.
it does. It takes a bad cop. And Blackimar definitely was the best, like, because Bean and TNT, like, they were definitely like good cops. They would do their work. They'd find the research, you know, and say, hey, like, we found this. When you want to, check it out.
Yeah,
And
they love those
like,
guys.
Yeah, they're great. They're great testers, and it's good to have that balance too. Blackimar like, check this out now. Like,
Pretty much.
And like he's right to do that. People get on his butt a bit within our community of like saying like Blackimar opinions like aren't right a lot of times. It's like, well, Blackimar opinions are, and like the way he does things behind the scenes is kind of why you guys like the game more compared to 1.12. Like a lot of those bad ideas were not his ideas, and they weren't any of our community members' ideas. They just happened to be things that the devs thought would be fun to add, and they probably were fun. I mean, the core players definitely were like, "This is funny," but like, why? That was the response I gotten when that patch dropped. From somebody at my local from NASB. They were a core player, and they were just like, "That's cool, but like, why?" And that was kind of the thing with everyone during that patch. Was just like, why? That was the main thing, you know. And Blackimar was like, I don't know, like they just felt like it, you know. And it's just like him and the team fixed it. Like,
was it because they changed her kit a lot, or?
She basically, her down air, for context, like there was more than this, but to put it like in a summary, they changed certain moves across a bunch of characters, and Korra particularly had a move where her down air was like Ganon Stomp, and when she got close to the ground, normally when you'd hit the ground or get close to hitting the ground, two like rock pillars on each side of her legs would like come up, right? But what they did to change it was they basically gave her maple down air from Rivals 2.
Oh, better maple down air.
Yeah, better maple down air.
With the stomp.
Yes, with the stomp.
Wait,
so she still had the spike.
So just maple drill, but even better somehow.
Yes. So you'd have two rock drills that would come up, right? Like how you have the one root, you have two roots. But you also had a Ganon spike that would spike into the roots. So you get spike down, pop back up. You could spike again, pop back up, and then you would forward air, and then you would slime dash, snare, and they would just die like instantly.
That was like maple up.
And that was
just her up.
Yeah.
Just
but like as one move.
That's crazy.
Like I don't like shitting on the devs like that because I work with them. They're pretty cool people, but
they're
like
really cool.
Some of those changes were just like you could tell, just like they were just kind of getting a little bored with how things were That's a straight up, dude. Because like near the end of the patch cycle, that was originally supposed to be the last patch. Or like, may as well just do some fun shit. And like, I respect the intent, but the same time, it was not great.
I remember
Like,
when
yeah, like,
Iroh came out
yeah.
because one of my friends, Jermex, was like, "You got to try him," and I was like, "Why?"
He was funny.
And he's like, "The dude's broken. You could do like this rising counter shit and all." I didn't understand everything. I don't remember everything, but I was just like, "Yeah, this does not seem like a finished character. What the fuck is going on? This dude's like broken."
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
I wish they taught
That's
Game
it.
Mill though. Game Mill kind of sucks.
Yes.
Essentially, from what they didn't tell me the full story because they were definitely really down about their NDAs. But essentially, like someone at Game Mill wasn't really getting back to them about adding things to the patch to the point where they gave us Iroh to test. We had a lot of changes, but they literally couldn't implement those changes because I don't know, some line of communication at Game Mill went down, and they just essentially released the initial version we got to them before we tested it.
Yeah. And yeah, obviously that was part of like what happened with us. Was like once it got to public, I think it was Muskie. Shout out to him, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he found some stuff with him like literally 20 minutes and him coming out and was like, he has an infinite or something like that, or like some like crazy thing, or like side B does like 80 damage in like 3 seconds or something like really silly like that. And I just saw that and I tweeted a thing in tournament announcement saying like at whatever, I was like, sorry, this character will be banned until further notice until the patch drops. And Blackimar was like, whoa, like there's a lot of time before that could ever happen, like because I'm sure you probably at the time knew this might just be the last patch.
Yes.
So it's like you can't ban him forever. Like,
yeah, like that
when he just came out.
My logic was like, this may be the last patch. It'll be a really bad look to have this character banned. It's just like I was like, hopefully someone's gonna figure something out against him. You know what I'm saying? But...
It'd just be like Steve and Bayonetta and.
Right. That was my concern. I was like, if we're dealing with this, we're not dealing with this. So I'll say he's banned. It might get back to the devs, and then they'll be like, all right, well, we gotta tell publisher like they're banning this guy already. You guys messed up big time, and whatever impacted whatever, whether it was Blackimar and the testers, whatever, if it was us. Like publicly, like something happened, and thank goodness we got a 43-page patch note that revamped all of the changes that they did for 1.12. It revamped a bunch of nerfs for characters that desperately needed nerfs. It gave a bunch of fixes to characters that prior were like very bugged and unexpectedly, like, or never expected to be fixed, but they did it. Like there were so many things that I did like a 40-minute video just trying to discuss the major ones. I still didn't even find everything.
And literally every character had changes. Literally every character.
It was very impressive. It was so impressive.
They had this one that it still exists, but I have a question of what's actually supposed to happen. If you use a counter on a super, what's supposed to happen? Because that just locks the game. And I don't know how...
you might need to answer this one.
I don't know how I time it so well, but like when me and Skeptic or me and Jazz play, and I'm playing Iroh, or I'm playing... Who else has a counter?
Donnie.
Donnie.
Donatello, Patrick.
Patrick.
My old main.
Yeah.
Patrick.
My main ones were Patrick and Iroh. And they'll try and end it with a super, and I'll just spam counter, and then Iroh does this, and then he is jagged everywhere.
He's like, I don't know what he's doing. He's like vibrating or something with a phone.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah, they're supposed to hit through that. Some just fell through the cracks in that, unfortunately, but you know.
Yeah.
So if
at least supers like aren't that great, so you're not seeing all the time in bracket.
So if it does happen in bracket, who's supposed to win the interaction? Is it because you read your opponent's super? Or is it because your opponent initiated super and they're supposed to win?
Yeah, they're supposed to win.
Okay, so it's supposed to be the person who activates the super is supposed to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So it's something that I don't even know if I have the full. I have something in our official rulebook for it, but I honestly have to go back and double check to make sure it's like that is the case, because obviously you have to do a reset of the game right?
'Cause
In
it
that
can be
situation.
argued. It can be argued.
Right, it can be. But that's kind of like the law of the land is what's intended, right? Not what should happen.
Yeah.
So if a super is supposed to win, then that means they use 3 bars of slime, and when you reset your game, the other person probably loses a stock.
Yeah.
Is the intended way, or at the very like, and that's realistically what should happen as long as it's not at like 0. But like if you're maliciously doing it at that point, you're gonna lose the stock anyways.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the end of the day. Like what can we do? You know.
Then it's a DQ. It's a DQ because I was
Right.
like, bro, what if this happened in tournament? Like the person who has the knowledge that the counter is gonna counter
Gonna do it
the
for
super.
the lulz.
Yeah, like if the person that knows that the counter is gonna break the game and they're countering the super, it's just this endless cycle of arguing that they could be like, no, bro, I read his dumbass, and he initiated it, so I read him. He's stupid. I win, and I'm like, I don't even know how this would work.
Alright,
I need to
I'm
ask
gonna
this.
bring a meme that we use in Rivals 2.
What's up?
It purpled on my screen. The stock should be gone.
Oh, true,
Yeah, right.
true,
Yeah.
100%.
It's so crazy how rare that is for like I'm sure it probably isn't as rare as I'm saying it is because I have seen like where it's like it doesn't kill, but I've also not seen that enough to where I'm like, is this common? Like, is it common for that to like just not kill?
Purpling rollback is not common. No, that is like a very rare thing to happen, like 0.3%. What
Oh my God.
what has been common though, and I hope that, and the devs said they fixed this, they didn't, is the stock indicator. So like the new stock indicator they added like 2 patches ago.
Yeah.
That has been rollbacking consistently. That's like a 60% chance to happen if you're like too far in the blast zone.
Yeah, I remember.
But they're still gonna make it back.
Weird.
Skeptic in chat says, so I did win. So thanks for vindicating
Ah.
him.
Ah.
He said you land that
He
shit
won.
too many times, and he hates me a lot. Also, Beans up in chat. Hell yeah.
What's up, Bean?
Yep. Shout out Bean, bro. It's my commentary apprentice. Taught that man everything I know. Doing great.
He's very
in that.
gifted.
Hell
He
yeah.
is. He's great. He's amazing.
Jazz, you want to take one of the other questions since I've been kind of hogging the asking?
I will try. Unfortunately, my university Wi-Fi
shit.
decided that now is the worst time to start shitting itself. So
Okay.
I
That's
might
tough.
be kind of robotic.
It's all good. I fuck with
Oh,
robots.
just as I say that, never mind.
You know what? It happens. We have technical issues all the
But
time. It's perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
I will try to ask a question here because I'm curious. So, yeah. So the thing that I'm curious about, and I don't think this was like one of the questions that Outcast told Tekk to jot down or not, but at least for me personally, these three Tekk, Shadow, and like everybody else knows that I've been trying to like essentially help out the Rebels 1 community, keep going, because you know we're pretty much going through like a slog period as well, just like
Yeah.
NASB has also gone through, right? And one of the main issues that I'm like running into is like nobody likes to join my tournaments specifically. I don't know why. We don't know. We can't like 100% confirm if like she goes back to like it being clicky or not. But I guess my question is, what can I do and what can I take away from you guys and apply to my tournaments to just kind of push Rivals 1 back into that light? Because I'm a firm believer, and I have been a firm believer that Rivals 1, there's still plenty of Rivals 1 to be played. There's still workshop 4 characters that need to be explored and showcased. There's still other characters like Shovel Knight that still need to be showcased and haven't really had that chance that much. So what advice would you guys have for me?
Especially after you got a major rework.
This is Cherry more section. He runs all the terms over here. So
Yeah. For me, like one huge success I had with, especially with NASB 1, because I think that's like more comparable to this for
Mhm.
Rivals 1, is like you have to have a
Cause I something.
like I would say like for you, your goal should be to one, and you're probably already doing this first thing, is putting a lot in for the community that exists. So if you're having people that do enter, even if it's like 4 people, like 2 people, you and your like 3 other people, whatever the number is, there's always gonna be that amount of people that actually like are committed. And making sure that their experience is great is like the first thing that you should do, right? Because then they may like buy in fully and be like, all right, well, let's grab my friend and pull them in. But the second thing you should do is have an X Factor labeled for beginners, like a workshop but for beginners, or like a Rivals 1, and you're gonna add like a workshop character that you're gonna legalize forever in your bracket series, or some sort of X Factor where you're like, this is why people should come back and try this game, or this is why like we're gonna support beginners. So have like an Arcadian where you ban, everybody that's above a certain threshold, or even just ban everyone that's still active within Rivals 1, and really focus on marketing outside of Rivals and getting people to say like, I'll enter at least once, because there's a good chance that maybe 10%, if you get like a decent chunk of entrants for that, 30 entrants,
I'll chime in real quick.
Yes.
That kind of reminded me too of an important point. I feel like, me, especially with the later Nick 1 days, you and I both experienced this. For lack of a better way to put it, fuck trying to get returning players, like trying to hold their hand and like drag them back.
Don't bring people back.
Because like if they don't want to play, they're not gonna play.
Yeah.
They'll enter like one event for you, and like that's we kind of had that before. But just like the experience, like it's not worth your mental energy to try to like drag people back to that game when there's so many people that haven't really experienced Rivals that could like, or your game rather, that can like love it potentially. So I definitely agree. Just like trying to just like reach out is definitely overall more important. It's definitely like an 80-20 thing between trying to like get people who didn't play and like maybe like 85-15. Like again, either way, large majority focus on trying to get newer people interested.
Yeah, and one of the things I mentioned, I wanted to tell Jazz like before all this was try to focus on the reason why people are still playing this game.
Right. Like
because clearly they have a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like a big thing too is
we all know it's workshop.
Yeah. Like that's the X factor for sure is workshop, right? And like beyond workshop, like making sure that players like I always call it this in NASB, but I've started talking to this with our scene is like there's a thing called the NASB cycle. And at the end of the day, that's basically a funny phrase of what's called turnover. And whether you have people that are currently dedicated or have already left and no longer are dedicated, there's going to be a cycle where those people that currently are interested will have a peak of interest. And then from there, they will drop off and disappear. And at the bottom of that is there will be new people that you'll be able to find that will say, wow, I really like this. Why aren't people playing it? They buy in, they have a peak of interest, they drop off, they're gone. And it's a cycle that just always continues. And you kind of have to just accept that, like, it's almost like death. Like, everyone's going to die at some point. Like, and then you're never going to see them or interact with them ever again. But, like, for you, you're trying to create life. So you just got to keep finding new people to get them to that peak. And then inspire people to go from, like, not interested to interested so that they can get to that peak. And you just keep pulling from whatever amount you can with whatever X factors. And for Rivals, that's a really nice one with Workshop. So making sure it's marketed well, making sure that it's accessible, making sure it's approachable as well is a huge thing for sure. So networking and making sure that that's like at events where people may care about it is a huge thing as well.
Also, shout out real quick, tangentially related. Bean did mention in the chat, definitely when we were revitalizing Nick 1 through community content. He's like the main lead person behind what's called Nick Brawl Community Edition, which is there's a lot in the works. I don't want to say too much, but they're working on a lot of changes and a lot of content to that game.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing with Rivals. Right, I mean, Rivals 1 in general is like it has that built in with Workshop. Workshop is so powerful that you don't even have to know how to mod your game. You just there's a million Workshop characters. So you test them, you balance them. You might say, hey, we're gonna throw like 16 new characters in. Now you have a roster that's twice as big.
Mm-hmm.
And
like there's like Abyss mode as well as Dev mode. that's
Yeah.
in the base game.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
also stuff that can be done with that.
Right. And kind of adding to that too, like for NASB 2, since Abyss is kind of, I mean, like Abyss is super big. It's a big story mode. NASB 2 has its story mode, and one of the mods I had Marcachino make, or Markervan, was a crowd control mod. So I can stream the game and have people kill me, or take my stocks, or make me change characters, or give me power-ups, or take away power-ups, or beat levels for me while I'm streaming. And it's a whole different way of even going about getting people into the game. Because people might not even know that NASB or Rivals have story modes. So it's something too where you can maybe get a commission, or maybe like research it yourself, or maybe just have some sort of challenge where it's like, I would play Abyss mode, but for every sub I jump off the stage and kill myself. Like something where it's engaging to people, or like something where it's like casual, but it doesn't need to be the main focus, but just something where it's like something fresh where people can say, all right, well, I enjoyed doing this or watching this. Why don't I support the other stuff? Or keeping them around. Like we did NASB 1 Jeopardy. So we literally did Jeopardy board where we had teams of people that played Jeopardy and answered questions based on like NASB lore and NASB tech and NASB players for NAS 1. And we even had like Thaddeus Cruz, all people, as the hosts for one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like having stuff like that too, where it's like maybe you have Cake Assault somehow find time to stream Rivals 1 Jeopardy or some Rivals Family Feud would low key go hard. Like that, like that'd be some good stuff. Like a Rivals 1 Family Feud versus Rivals 2 Family Feud. I don't know. Something goofy.
We had a Jeopardy episode.
I had that.
We had a
Really?
Jeopardy. Pride did the Jeopardy episode because he was asking me. He was like, "You're a fucking nerd." He was like, "You're a fucking nerd. Tell me some hidden lore shit about R1 since you've been around since the beginning."
Yeah.
And I was like, ask him what patch Maple Drill came out. And,
Yeah, like stuff like that.
And I know that it was a 3-week patch, and it was 0.15.0, and it was on Valentine's Day. That's when it dropped. 3 weeks later,
There you
you
go.
take it away. And some people were like, I don't fucking know, 1.2? And I was like, y'all are so fucking off. It's crazy. Like, and there was some other
Yeah,
stuff.
like-
That was like your $1,000 question, right? And they had some other ones in there as well. So, but I mean, those are all like great fucking ideas. And just to kind of like bring it back a little with it is, you know, y'all went through all this shit, all this terrible shit that should have just killed your community and killed your game. Meanwhile, Rivals 2 comes out, the devs say it's in your hands now, and everyone's losing their shit saying the game's fucking dead. They all complain on Twitter, and every different player that I've seen, I've said this 100 times, I know everybody listening is probably sick and tired of me fucking saying it, but every individual that I see complaining, if all of them got together and just entered that tournament and marketed that, instead of bitching and moaning, and just marketed that tournament and be like, Rivals 1 dead ? Then enter this tourney, I guarantee they'd have at least 30 people, because that's how many people I've seen that have said, Rivals 1 dead game, bro. The devs don't even want to support. It's not up to them anymore, bro. It's up to you. And they never said that they weren't going to fucking be there.
They released a patch for it.
They released a patch.
Really
They said they'll help when they can, but
Yeah.
their main priority is Rivals 2. So it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're bitching and complaining.
I think people, not only just cloud providers, every community gets super fucking weird whenever their games stop getting like active support.
Attention. Yeah.
Yeah, and attention too, for sure. Oh god, because like I even talked to Cherry about it a lot, dude. Because I'm like the biggest patch culture hater ever. I think it's ruined our attention span as competitive gamers.
100%.
Because me personally, I'm someone who like I love when these games get to the last patches because I love seeing people try to solve things. You know, it's like super cool. So like I don't know, it's like a weird just like gamer mentality thing. I feel like it's kind of hard to reverse, but I think the people who like are interested, having them just like be vocal about it always helps.
Yeah.
An issue with that is just like they don't understand that there needs to be like a balance between people figuring out the game and the devs fixing out things that are so obviously broken that need to be addressed right away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Smash 4 came out and everybody was freaking out about how they were going to have so many patches. Me and a couple of my friends were fine with it because we all played MOBAs. And I'm like, yeah, that's just how it is, bro. It's fine. There's going to be some shit that's just going to be absolutely fucking broken. You can't tell me that, like, when Meta Knight came out, you didn't wish that he got nerfed a little bit. But then you have that other sect of players that are like, oh my god, fair forward smash is true. That just needs to be nerfed. When's the next patch? Question mark.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That just annoys the hell out of me. I can rant all day about the show, but I'll try not to. But you know, it's just like, because at some point,
Oh, Lord.
it's harsh. But at some point, you gotta stop being a fucking bitch, bro. Like, you
True.
gotta just deal with that shit, nut up or shut the fuck up and leave, bro.
We got time. Go crazy.
Yeah, I don't like the constant cycle of new patch comes and there's a new set of doomers, and then there's like a select couple of people that are like, guys, the character is fine, you'll be fine, and then they're just still dooming. Another patch comes in, and it's just a constant toxic cycle, and I want it to stop.
Yo, I'm sorry. I gotta call it a specific demographic. Arcane mains, please. Your character is not even close to dead. Stop complaining. That character's still annoying.
True.
I ain't saying, bro.
Listen, I stuck out with Flea when she got gutted. And I wasn't happy about it, but like now she's apparently like top 2 or something. So like,
Crazy, for sure.
your time will come. Your time will come.
It's weird. I do think the air acceleration change was a bit of an overcorrection. Just like how there's current overcorrections in this patch right now. I actually hate advocating for this character, but Claren mains, I'm sorry that they did this to you. I do think down air should be at least somewhat reverted. Not the hitbox, the freaking them not going into stun at 0.
I'm not sorry.
That was
I'm not sorry. Nigga should be
not
fine,
sorry.
bro. That character's still probably top 5. Nigga, shut up, bro.
She'll be fine. But I do think that's not okay when you're not able to get your punish because funny little a universal change by the way kind of ruined one move.
There was
I don't
No,
feel sorry for her, bro.
Shadow, hear me out. Let them cook without Dare, okay? We need to break the cycle.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did abusing the cook button.
You're
Dare
right,
and
you're
Rivals
right.
won.
Yep. Double
Let
jump
them
Dare.
not use Dare and Rivals 2 anymore.
Double
Let
jump
them figure
Dare
it out.
every time. Outcast has won so many sets by saying this is how you play Claren when he's streaming, and will only do double jump Dare until it purples off the top.
Purple. No, the joke is I used to do this too with Rano, his Nair specifically, and I'm just like, this was not okay. I don't know why that's a thing that you can do, but I mean, I guess go off.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know.
There was only one patch that I ever really complained about for a tournament, and I was just hoping that we would revert back, and we did for like my local scene, and it was a patch that touched Hodon, and it fucked up his tornado, but it also removed his semi spike on like the first 2 hits of his tornado.
God, that patch was
Now
crazy.
that patch was awful because his tornado almost didn't really function at that point, because then I was just getting fucked up. And that's not the point. The point was I was practicing specific edgeguard scenarios where I could semi-spike and convert off of it while edgeguarding. I was like, no, they can't take that away yet. I haven't gotten to play this in fucking tournament yet. I got to do this. Just please, just revert it back. Just do it. Just please, just one tournament.
You can
One
blame
tournament.
Quinny for that one. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I know. I do blame Quinny because me and him would be in VC for hours trying to break the character even fucking more. Because that's what all we did. That's all our DMs were. That's all our VCs were. That's all it was. It was just trying to break Hodon
Like,
even more.
I think there's like a part of this whole thing people don't consider too. Sometimes the community is just fucking wrong, dude. Like maybe like I see it more because like I work in the dev side of it as well, because with the devs rather. But like, dude, sometimes people are just like overacting, and sometimes it's just like not that big a deal. Like Bean actually brought up too. We have an example in the Nick community back when back when Cake Assault is Garfield bad, yeah. Back when Cake Assault was like doing crazy shit in Nick Brawl 2 around launch with Garfield. We kind of saw that like, wait a second, he's not using Sugar Rush, the main mechanic who, if you don't know, he presses down B, he gains meter, and he just basically becomes faster. But essentially
really
the effects of it, yeah, he's really bad. The effects of it before weren't that strong, but he was like really fast without it. So like people was like, I don't need this shit. I'll just like without the because you also get lighter too and easier to kill. That's like a downside of it. And then like, okay, we saw that, okay, well, we'll like nerf him in base pretty heavily and then buff Sugar Rush pretty heavily, and like, you know, if we can bounce in there, need be, you know. But like, people immediately said, "Nah, Garfield fucking sucks. He's fucking terrible." And literally, Cherry will fucking attest this, bro. Ever since that patch, I've been saying, "Nah, y'all are wildin'. He's better than y'all think." I started playing him more. Nah, y'all are wildin'. He's better than y'all think. Nigga, fucking Connor J started playing him. Kinky started playing him too. He's better than y'all think. He's low-key fucking crazy. And I'm like, and they never fucking listen to me. And now when Son Thunders picks him up, these dick riding ass niggas be like, what the fuck? He's fucking insane. I'm like, nigga, I've been saying this shit for months.
Tell him, Blackimar. Tell him,
I had to crash out about that one a second. I had to crash out about that for a second.
And how you good? Go
some people are
again,
fucking. Some people just like they don't want to accept the fact that they could be wrong. The fact that they don't fucking see life, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
That shit's so funny, bro. That shit's so funny.
Yeah, it is. Because it also is just great for, like, content. Because, dude, now it's like, I'm trying to get people to be like, yeah, he's top 1. Like, people are just like, all right, I can understand top 5. And before they're like, I can understand top 10. And before that, they're like, I can understand top 15. It's like,
Literally.
guys, like, we gotta, like, be realistic. Like, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And, like, there are very few characters. Like, Danny is pretty good. Like, Beavers is really good. Like, people like to say Zim's not up there. Like, he's good. He's not in the top 3 category. Like, Aang is pretty good. Like, but Garfield is Garfield. And, people are finally coming around to it.
Category, bro. Like, it's hard to say in the top 3, but I definitely think he's a strong contender to be within that top 3 range, along with like, people
easily.
Like, Danny, Beavers, Aang is potentially in that. Azula potentially in that.
Azula's crazy.
Garfield.
She's
so
good.
insane for sure.
At first, I was like, what do I do with this character? And then I played a little bit. I was like, there's no way, right? And then it worked, and I was like,
yeah, it's like she's on the characters like everything feels like it kind of just works on her a lot of the time, you know.
Yeah.
When we try to have an idea, it's like it's probably gonna work a lot of the time.
yeah, that's just nuts. That character's busted as fuck. I love her. She's awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
Just going to another question. Since everything's just grassroots for y'all now, how for the offline tournaments that y'all do go to, how do you determine which ones, and why would most of them just be FGC events?
Okay, so I've been talking about this more and more publicly, and I've been considering making a video, but I also don't want to like put down Smash events, because I feel like it's wrong. It's very like I do I do feel that way, but like ethically, it feels wrong to want to do it. But also like what I'm saying doesn't necessarily affect them, because I do feel that like Rivals the dev team, like if somehow you happen to watch it, like you need to stop putting your game at like SmashCon, Riptide, and every other collision. Like stop Gommel, stop doing it.
You are now Outcast's favorite person ever now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Rivals needs Smash anymore. It's big enough. It was at Evo. And Evo somehow, who is notorious for horrible schedules, gave it more than top 8 streaming and a better schedule than every Smash event ever has and ever will. We can't even get top 6 like at a Smash event because it's too much. It's too difficult. But we can get like, and not at 10 a.m. Like everybody doesn't want 10 a.m. top 8s anymore. Collision, another one, had 10 a.m. top 8. Nobody wants 10 a.m. top 8, and it's the new plat fighter, and everyone hates Ultimate, and Melee is becoming campier and campier. But somehow the new game that has none of those issues is at 10 a.m. and nobody gets to see it.
It's just like
It doesn't make sense to me.
Because like I gotta tread lightly because I obviously use events to hire me sometimes. So like,
hold on, before you get yourself canceled, let me finish my thing.
Please do.
The benefit to FGC is there is a circuit of FGC events that are highly entered. The FGC players at the top will support Rivals because it is not Smash. It is a platform fighter, but it is one created by developers intent on making it competitive, and like they have good intentions on controller support and all of these things, and they provide prize pool for their events. They don't want to shut down events. They have official rules and stages and things like that that make it easy to join in. They have tutorials. So like we even saw, I forget who was it at Evo, that was FGC guy playing in pools. I watched versus Flint. Apology Man.
Apology, man.
Yeah, apology.
Yeah.
Man.
He was like really big
watching
in the
that.
melee before back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, and he played Ultimate too. But like watching him, and I'm just like, he only is playing this right now because it's at Evo. Like, and it like Rivals was at CEO, it was at Combo Breaker, it was at Frosty's, it was at Evo, and whatever other one is that. There, did I say Frosty? I probably said Frosty's.
You said
Whatever.
Frosty,
Yeah, you
yes.
did.
It's at 4 events of the year, and then you could do like, I don't know, whatever other event treats you well, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like none of this, like Gommel had Rivals 2 on laptops, and the commentary block from what I've heard behind the scenes from Nurse and others was a mess. The TO or the production of it didn't know how platform fighters worked, so they didn't know like who to stream or like how the game worked and how to determine who won somehow. Even though I feel like it's kind of self-explanatory, but like that's besides the point. So it's like Smash events, one, they don't give the casters good equipment. They don't give the players a good schedule. They don't give the viewers a good schedule to watch, or even the amount of time and content to watch. They don't give a top 8. FGC events give them a whole top 8. They give them time to reveal a whole ass character. They give them time to do a whole other type of huge event of reveal. This game also gives you creator codes. They give you a ton of things, and they sponsor Evo by having it be the largest prize pool event of the year so far for Rivals.
Yep.
And they had an online qualifier so that people could go out, flown out for free with HBox, who that's like a good person to work with because it's big numbers, but you still get to work only with Evo. Why would you ruin your first impression for people by it being at a Smash event where it's not cared for and the budget just isn't there to support properly, when you could just have it at an FGC event, which, while yes, the barrier of entry in terms of paying for is way higher, because like for me, Combo Breaker costs like $200 to go to. It's $100 for like the badge or whatever, and then it's like you pay for a bunch of events, and it adds up. But like you go there, everything's on high-end PCs. Everything has a proper GameCube adapter. Everything has like, there's no lag. There might be a setup that has an issue, but it's like the TOs know what they're doing because they'll just bring you to a different setup and it's fine. And
Common Breaker is like really like, in my opinion, is definitely
the best
fighting game event ever. Smash
for everything,
games, all that.
Yeah. They treat NASB very well. Their side events are very like. This is another thing is that the side events are even treated well.
Mhm.
Like NASB is accepted every year. We get top 4, top 6 stream. You know, just depending on the year.
Side
Like,
game, bro. Just for the side game.
like, and it's we get to work with them properly and get our own schedule, and like, we get our own block, so we don't have to like bring equipment like monitors and stuff and power adapters and whatever. Just bring your own computers, bring your setups, and make sure that like they're up to par, and you run it, and the schedule is fine. At Smash, a side event is you better hope your ass like gets the message a week before, and you haven't even purchased your plane ticket or hotel yet, and now you're spending $1K just to go. Like, let alone you don't get to enter anything. You get to pay $1K just to go and do your thing, and you get like $20 back. Like maybe you get paid to do your commentary. Maybe you get paid to host the event. No, like it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, it's
You're right.
in general, it's like it's just like what you call it, a community like sort of difference in the values of the community. Like it's always interesting to me to see people surprised the Bravo students treated so well at Evo, but like consider it. There's a Smash community and the fighting game community. I think people don't really, maybe because I grew up with fighting games all my life and shit, but like there's a big cultural difference amongst the community. They're a lot more open to trying games just because when fighting games were at their outset on arcades and people were playing them, there was fighting games all the time, bro. And the Marvel 2, the Marvel 2 cabinet was always popping and shit. So like,
and all of them
go
are
play
different.
Third Strike over there, might as well play Guilty Gear over there, may as well go play fucking Tekken over there, because like I can't play my main game, so like a lot more people are familiar with all these things and used to playing more of these games as well.
Yeah.
So the idea of there being multiple things at these events is like a lot more commonplace. Whereas like with things with the Smash community, it's just like, I'm not trying to diss them for sure, because like I still like Smash Evil obviously, but like fucking, it's just kind of how it is, kind of being raised on a console, because like you're just playing that one game, and just like other games, just like I think they're really insular for Smash Bros. Simply really insular for that reason, because just like they never really had like a community sort of push to try different games.
Yeah. To bounce off of that, like all the fighting games are all different in their own way. Tekken is completely different from Street Fighter, and Street Fighter is completely different from any Marvel. Like, they're all just completely fucking different. And I'll tell you why we were so weirded out that we were treated, well at all these FGC events. It's because we're always treated like shit at Smashy Bro events. That's why. It's like the person that has been in that 5-year terrible traumatic relationship. They finally get with someone who gives a fuck about them, likes their interest, and is like, "Oh, you want to go do this thing? Yeah, you can go. Oh, you don't want to go with me? You don't think that like I'm gonna cheat or anything? No. What the fuck? You're just going to have fun with your friends. Just go have fun." And then they're weirded out because they're like, "What the? I'm used to at least getting slapped once, like, And then so when we go to fighting game events, we're like, what do you mean it's not 10 a.m.? And I think it's a big conspiracy theory, to be honest. They're putting us at 10 a.m. top 8 so they can be like, see, that game does suck, bro. That game sucks. We gave them a top 8 spot, and I mean, they only had like 250 people. Yeah, because most of the people weren't fucking up yet, idiot. They're all gamers.
Where's the crowd? Rivals players hate their game. Nobody showed up at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. top 8. Why are they not fucking there? What's going on? I don't really get it, bro. And the fact
we stream the top 6 at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and we cater, like Rivals 2 obviously caters to Smash players because like now we have shields and grabs and all that shit. And some were like, I don't think they should have did it. So I mean, who's to say? Like, what if Rivals 2 didn't have that, and then we went to fighting game events, and then we were just as big without it? You know what I'm saying? Because most people, we're not sucking in all the Melee players and Ultimate players. The Ultimate players are too busy being abused by Nintendo, and the same thing with Melee. But Melee, they're just addicts at this point. And I mean, that's not to really shit on them, but I mean, it's kind of to shit on them. Like, they're not coming over here. The only people that this game is for is the Rivals 1 players that are sticking it out, and the PM players because they can legally play it now. And they're loving it. They're having a great. They're eating. They're eating so well.
Like, they are eating.
Stangoat, I mean, come on, bro. Like, that's just wild.
Stango, Regochu, Switch, all them folks. So happy to have an actual home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also want to add to the fact that I really do think that the devs should be pushing more grassroots events, especially since we're at the brink of like losing Heatwave soon. And it's odd to me that they still want to go to all these Smash events when I'm sitting here thinking, well, you guys just got done hosting Grassroots League Season 2 and Season 8 of Rivals 1 Championship Series. Why not bring that back, but instead of like, I don't know, you could either keep Grassroots League going, have some stuff count towards R2CS, or you could just have those Grassroots events just plain count for R2CS. Either way, it's not a bad idea to go Grassroots because, again, it's those Grassroots events that are going to add up and actually help out in the long run instead of like us being stuck in this abusive relationship with Smash events. Now, I will give Collision its flowers. They were finally the first Smash event to treat Rivals 1 well. We even got player interviews at the end of sets as well. So big props to Collision. We'll be going over Collision a bit more next episode, but Smash is only 1-5 so far on the circuit. It's really a sign. Like every FGC event we've been to, fine. And I also have to say Battle of BC was also fine as well, but it was unfortunate that was off season and not when the season officially started.
Yeah. Jared does a good job, so I will always Jared Galleon Gaming were amazing. They were also the team that was behind Platfight, and that game proves too that you can have an event with Smash Bros at it where all the games still get a top 8. Like NASB was streamed top 8 at that multiverses. 1s and 2s had a top 8. Brawlhalla, like Rivals 2, Melee, we all had top 8s there. Like you can do it with like you can do it with Smash there. It's about a want and scheduling and I also say too, it's like Collision still had 10 a.m. top 8. Like it did a top 8, but still was at the wrong time slot. Um, whether that's fair or not to say. But I also say one thing that I wish R2 CS would do, especially for Heatwave, is why not give it a 2x multiplier for our 2 CS points? Why not just go insane balls to the walls and say, when you go to grassroots events that are hosted by people we literally employ to like host this, if you show up, you get more points.
DM SBS real quick. You
Like,
got his Discord, boy.
why not? Why not just pump your own event hardcore and just be like, if you go to this event, it's literally worth twice as much. And right now, it's kind of freeload because not a lot of people like usually go. So why not go? It's a good time, and like now you're getting double the points. Like that is an easy way to get the sweats to go out, you know, for an event that also is great and also almost in the red. Because that's a huge event for us, NASB wise. The past year, I think since 2023, right? They've had NASB 2 and 1, or just at the minimum 2. But last year they had NASB 1 and NASB 2. Had a good amount show up. It sounds like, from what I've heard and through the grapevine, that will be the case again. And we're like NASB wise, we're looking to make that our biggest event of the year. So like we have already been talking with our community and saying, even if you don't like rivals, this is still the only event where Cherry doesn't have to sign an application and say, "Can you have NASB 2 here, guys? Can I like bring my setups?" They just have PC set up for NASB with a top 8 for NASB 1, top 8 for NASB 2, and you just go and show up. You don't have to like bring your own setups. They're high-end equipment. Like it's good for us too. So it's like if more plat fighters are either supported at Heatwave or let alone rivals R2CS says, no, this event, because it's grassroots, here's a 2x multiplier. You should show up.
That's smart.
Easy way to make grassroots more important, you know?
Easy money.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm down for that idea to be implemented heavily, especially since I do want to highlight one TO who's been kind of under the radars super heavily, being Jarek. Jarek is pretty old school Rivals 1 player who's ran events like Crest before. And I know Crest has counted previously towards, I want to say, Grassroots League before. And, you know, Crest is one of those grassroots events that just doesn't get talked about enough. So I think it'd be a great idea to have that multiplier so that we can see more people going out to Crest, more people going out to Hitfall, which is turning into the East Coast heat wave per se in the MDBA region. It's like stuff like that would, and not only that, but that'll probably encourage other people to like, hey, let's get our own grassroots events going again. You know, stuff like Hurricane, which Casual Scrub was the host of in Florida, that could possibly come back and count as a 2 times multiplier and possibly encourage people to go to that, even though, yeah, it is Florida, so it is a bit iffy, but I know the Florida scene is amazing. Shadow can attest to that, and they'll make it worth your while.
There is 2 problems with that. One, this was the obvious one you mentioned, that it being down in Florida. Like, CEO is like the big thing for Florida, so it's just kind of weird having like multiple events, especially since Flat Fight was also here. The second thing is that Casual Scrub in particular, it doesn't really like Rivals 2 very much, so
yeah,
it's very unlikely we'll get another Hurricane unless it's like exclusively for Rivals 1 or some other thing.
And it's just a spitballing idea, because who knows, maybe Hurricane could have Rivals 1 and 2 again, but if Casual Scrub ever came back. But just an idea. But yeah, I really love the concept of like, hey, throw a multiplier at the grassroots events, because it really encourages people to go to these events, go support the community at hand, because we're not going to get the same type of treatment at Smash events.
Yeah.
I'm just like super big into just like.
So there's one little other problem with like R2CS we gotta highlight, which is the online tournaments, or should I better say the lack of a consistent one.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad it's in the state it's in personally. I don't think Rivals has the netcode for that to be a reoccurring thing. I think net play tournaments are important, but unless it's like a qualifier or like something like HBox where it's like it's intentionally put onto a pedestal like that you should have a lot of R2CS online events. Because also that kind of does also feed into the thing of these offline events like Heatwave. If you have an event that is online, reoccurring, like a regular, like let's say monthly, right? But like let's say even every 3 months, whatever the reoccurring aspect is, even if you know it's coming, players may be less incentivized to go to something in person because they're like, well, I could just enter the online thing and save all of this money. And you don't really want that either. Even if there's no multiplier, or even if it's like a 0.5 multiplier, so it's somehow less important than going to an offline. Like it should still count, but you don't need to make it. It should be special. It should be like this is an exception, not the expectation. That's my take on it, at least.
Yeah, I
think
do
that's
agree with
maybe
the
thing
fact
too.
that the netcode is definitely in need of improvement for sure.
Yeah.
My main issue was just the scheduling because normally,
Yeah, that's fair.
for Rivals 1, we had our RCS and it did count towards a fly out to this region. Usually it was Genesis.
Right.
But they were done on weekends where everyone would be available to actually enter. Meanwhile, the HBox circuit was done on Wednesdays, which I think is like one of the worst days to do it, besides like a Monday. You know?
Yeah.
Really strange day to do it too. I feel like.
I'm pretty sure the only reason it was done on a Wednesday was because Coinbox is done on a Wednesday.
Yes,
so it was
I'm
like
pretty sure that's the
for,
main
for
reason.
his viewers, it was like, well, guys, this is like the day you guys all show up. Wales, Wales, Wales. You know, it also might just be the only day HBox is available for all we know, like behind the scenes,
Yeah.
maybe. And that's also like the thorn of working with the Smash community is you're not working on your own terms, you're working on like someone else's terms, and the purpose of those events probably is even more so to market than it is to compete, just because it's HBox's, perspective. So you're getting a different type of return on it. But yeah, like I think that alone is a huge thing. That's like something for me. It's like when I'm hosting something for NASB, if it's intended to be a big thing, like NASB Junior, I always host it on a Saturday, like as much as I can, because whenever I've hosted on even a Sunday or a Friday, people are like, I got work in the morning, man. Like I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm not signing up if it's not on a Saturday, because it's like that's the one real day that people can show up for.
Yeah.
So in the same vein as Rivals, it's like, yeah, try your best. If you're gonna do an online thing, at least don't do it in West Coast or East Coast time. Do it like at least like at 4 p.m. Central or 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern or something like that, where it's like a little later, so that
That's 2 p.m. for us.
yeah, like even that's still too early for West Coast too, because it's like you're
Yeah.
still working, like you're still, and if you do it in West Coast time, then it's like
It's too late.
I don't know, it's too late. Yeah, it's like Central is good for that, even if it's still not ideal. But it's like you still could do like 5 p.m. Central, and even if it's still kind of early for West Coast, like
Not as
and
early. So it's like doable.
it's not, yeah, it's like doable-ish. Like you could maybe say like to work, I'm like taking a half day
Damn.
instead of like, it's tough. It's tough.
That's why we had PX, Nick East, and Nick West. Shout outs
Yeah.
to Pride again, bro. Classic.
Pride is a genius.
He
He
a genius.
is.
I miss
He
that
is.
guy. I miss that guy so
You don't
much.
get his flowers enough, bro. He was definitely a big innovator of this
Yep,
shit, bro.
the replay system,
US.
all that good shit. The bot,
Mhm.
that shit was ahead of its time. You're like, I don't want to deal with it.
Dude, the lag test app. By the way.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That was insane.
Yep.
Like,
What's your
good
jitter
job,
at, bro? What's your jitter?
That shit was. I still have that fucking malware on my PC somewhere. I still have it. I could probably find it. Low key.
Ban sewers, pussy. That's a classic. That's a
that shit
classic.
was too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, good shit. Oh, I think I had another question here for you guys. Obviously, so one of the ways to get new people in to play NASB is through all the content, and streaming videos and all that stuff. But how would you say you're formulating that content to get those players to stay and play? Because if they play and they just get their shit pushed in, you know, it's like Rivals 2. I played, I got my shit pushed in, I refunded it. I didn't want to play. So how are you getting these newer players to kind of, you know, stay in, and how did you like optimize it?
One thing recently I'm still not like fully, because I'm still working 2 jobs, right? I just started again working 2 jobs, so I'm just kind of like, my time is really limited. But one thing I was doing this summer, and I'm still continuing slowly to do, is work on more publicizing of like resources. So like I just created back in July the Smasher's Guide to NASB 2. And it's pretty thorough. Like I even go over like how to SDI correctly, which apparently until I looked into it, no one even knew, even at the top level, what was appropriate. And for a long time, people thought it was melee tapping, you know, SDI. And it's actually ultimate wiggle DI or SDI, where it's like you have to wiggle the stick to that SDI. And that was not known. People just straight, like even like top players were like, yeah, I don't know like what's like supposed to
Dude, I worked on the game and like I kind of knew it, and like but like had just misconceptions I still had about it still, and I helped work on that shit. So
Rivals spoiled
like
me. I just had to hold. That's all I had to do.
Yeah, right. Well, that was another misconception. People are like, yeah, you just hold, and it's like that's kind of true because you can still like DI through stuff because it's still very strong in this game. But it's like stuff like that where it's like get a Smasher's Guide out where it's like it's still relevant to people that play. You know, it's like like half the shit I didn't even know was in the game. Like I didn't know you could just hold the left off. Like when you're holding ledge, if you hold like away from the ledge, you don't even have to hold down. You still fall off the ledge, but you don't fast fall. So you can just fall off the ledge and then like jump wave like ledge dash much easier. So now I don't do that. Or like people didn't know that they were shield dropping. Like you could just hold shield plus B or special.
Yeah.
Like people didn't know that because it's different.
That's my favorite form of shield dropping. I fucking love that shit.
It's so good.
It's so easy, yeah. Like stuff like that. Like I just also recently released a video like SpongeBob beginner combos to godlike. And it's just like clips of people doing basic SpongeBob combos that like everyone should be able to do. Even if it's like hard, it's still something that you should pick up and do to like literally mastery, so that it's just entertainment at that point. But just educational stuff that's still like helping people improve. As well as just putting out like VODs with like good commentary and like making sure like if there's a matchup that people need to see, like I don't just post the stream, you know. I'm posting like not only just the whole top 8, I'm posting like Patrick versus SpongeBob, John versus Smith, you know, like I'm posting every single matchup from every tournament as much as possible. So it's just one of those things where it's like there's resources where you can watch good level play. There's resources for if you're dog shit and you just need like help with the basics. And there is tournaments where all of the good players are banned, so you can actually like feel good about yourself and play versus people that maybe it's a lot closer than you'd think. So it's like that triple layer approach of like tournaments, beginner level, like an approachable like guide content, and then actually good VODs is kind of like been my trifecta at the moment. With also just some like entertainment, you know, like those montages of just random clips, because people like just watching the game. You don't need something that's like complex, you know, or a guide. People just don't. Sometimes people want some brain rot. Sometimes people want some good shorts, you know, or just some combo videos. So you can't ever forget that stuff either.
Yeah. I guess for me on the YouTube side of things, again, I'm like not making too much stuff for Nick 2, but for Nick 1 especially, I kind of kept. How do I describe it? I kind of described or talked about things at a mid-level, if that makes sense. Where like I didn't get like too nerdy about it, but like I still sort of like still introduced advanced concepts while still explaining things. It's kind of like similar to how I like approach commentary. In fact, like I think that kind of like circles back to it, right? Because like I always kind of like try to be like insightful, but also like keep the nerdiness down to a level. So like a big thing for me, I practice for commentary purposes was just like being able to condense analysis into like tight, digestible sort of pieces.
Yeah.
where like things that people will like describe in like a whole minute, and people will be like, "Oh, that was sick. That downer he got." So the fucking Fanny's Cruise was born. Nickelodeon Brawl came out in 2021, and it just goes on and on forever. But for me, just being able to just like quickly sort of explain things to people while I have their attention, it's kind of like how I contribute a lot to that stuff, for sure. Because like it's definitely satisfying seeing people like, I learned some shit from your commentary. Like, oh yeah, I love that, dude. It's great. It's definitely dope.
I definitely had the privilege to commentate with Blackimar not too long ago, so
Same
I
here.
definitely see that. Like, I saw that immediately. Like, even for something like you didn't know as much, you were able to like condense what I said, and still able to just like make it quick and snappy.
Yeah, like I feel like that's for me personally. I kind of like, even I got trouble like attention span shit. Like, dude, this is like kind of going on for a while. I just kind of want to know the concept real quick. Like, so it's a thing just for me, just like to make what I want to see. You know, also just on top in terms of just like helping get people in. Like, I'm also like super active in our grinders Discord. I think having friendly people who are also smart is like super like important for that kind of stuff. So if someone's like joining into the community, and we're not just learning the matchups, grab like, no, I'm like, hey, what's up? You doing good? And like, oh, what you having trouble with this game? Oh, it's crazy. Like I just complain, yada 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 when that happens, stuff like that. So yeah, I guess a lot of commentary work, a lot of trying to condense things, and like a lot of just community outreach within the server.
Yeah.
So, well, my approach.
Approachable and digestible. That's kind of what I'm getting from both of y'all. It's simple. It's so simple. It's just other people, got to put forth the effort. And I ask this because we're mainly a Rivals style podcast, and yes, we're branching out to other plat fighters, but getting y'all's insight, it just for the other people that are listening that are in the community, and like it might spark a conversation. The person that's listening here, they might know one of the top players and be like, bro, you got to really get on this shit, because then they could do it. They could make it, approachable, digestible, and make like, the beginner's guide, the tier list for the clickbait, the streams, the interactive stuff that Cherry was talking about earlier, and just all the ways that you were talking about with commentary, and just like, because we have more commentators. I'd like to say we have more commentators now in Rivals 2 overall, like through online and offline.
That's definitely true.
It's like interesting like that too as well. Sorry to branch off what she's saying though. It's just like it's interesting seeing how I feel like majority of commentators within the Rivals ecosystem right now are on the more analytical side.
Yeah.
Which is great in itself, but like I think it's also really important to have that person who just break down things super simply, and like that's how I always try to like fit myself.
Yeah, there was I can't remember what his co-commentator was, but J Varg from Texas when he used to commentate Smash 4. Nabil. He used to commentate Rivals 1, the very beginning. And later, he got busy with life. He did his own thing. But having him mixed with someone like J Varg or other people, I know people that are listening are like, who the fuck are you talking about, you old shithead? But like they had that good like analytical entertainment, like a TK and EE type thing, right?
Yes.
And that's like super, I think it's super important to continue to like have that be approachable. Because like for Cherry, you could have very well taken the lazy route and would have been like, I got this big fucking VOD. I've been paying attention to my clock. I know at 3 minutes and 27 seconds, that's when game 5 ends. I can just put that in the timestamp. The next set starts at 6 minutes. And then we could just do this. And it's just a 3-hour VOD. Look at the timestamps, idiot. But like you put in that extra work just to make it there so everybody can just like, hey, I want to know Patrick. I want to know Azula. I want to know Rocksteady. I want to know all these other characters. I want to learn Korra. I want to see what's Alpha Stone doing with this character this week or whatever. There's a dedicated. I found this recently. There's a dedicated like Daedalus lover that has taken footage from every offline tournament of every Daedalus set and combined it into one video. So like every Daedalus set from CEO, every Daedalus set from Evo, every Daedalus set from fucking Supernova. And I was like, this dude's insane. Like, how did you... And I think that's important because when you look up, like, that's how I found it. Because the mecha skins had me feeling really nostalgic. I love Voltron as a kid. So I was like, all right, bro, I need to look up some Etalus shit because I played some Eta in R1, but I don't know all the new shit that Etalus can do. So I was like, well, let me look it up. That was just Rivals 2 Etalus. And that was one of the first things that popped up. So it's popping up in the algorithm. I started watching. I was like, I could just binge this shit. Like, I could watch a half hour while I'm eating lunch. And then, like, if I'm, you know, in my car and I'm going, I can just listen to, like, what's happening and, like, the commentators explaining shit. And it was just super unique. And I feel like the other part of it is how Cherry spoke about this earlier about people that were commenting and saying, like, I'm trying to boost this in the algorithm. There needs to be those other people that are boosting in the algorithm so we can get these, you know, the people that aren't as well known. Not everybody's going to be a cake assault making content. That's just not what's going to fucking happen. You got to take advantage of the algorithm for you to... We've talked about this at length. But anyway, like, lifting all these other people up that are doing that shit, you know, that's super important. And that's... I hope that if Rivals players even lasted this long in the fucking podcast and it's not just all NASB homies, I hope that they learn something from this and that they can be like, oh, this is how we can grow our shit. Rivals 1 isn't dead. If we just stopped bitching and we ran this, we could do this. We could do the idea that Cherry said about including a workshop character, getting other commentators on that, like Blackimar was saying, and have it condensed and all that stuff. Like, it would just all... It would mesh well. And that's what I want. That's what I want to fucking happen, you know? And it's like, oh, Tekk, you do the work. I can't do all the fucking work. I'm too busy doing other shit. Yeah, we're doing a fucking podcast right now, so like...
Like, it can't be one person, and like, this is something I've talked with Blackimar about, because I've been told this, a lot of the non-NASB related, like, or focused events, like Pot Fight and a couple other things too, have said this, where it's like, Cherry, you're like, you are you're like the NASB community. And I'm like, well, not really. Like, I'm a guy. Yeah, I'm I might be the face of it, sure. Like, I'll accept that, but like, a community is a group. So it's like, I host the tournaments.
The word.
Yeah. Like I might commentate, I might compete, I might do a lot of stuff. I might make videos, but like, I'm not doing it all at once. Like, I might organize and commentate occasionally at the same time, but like Blackimar here, he's commentating like all the time, and he's like one of the best we got. And like, we've got Bean, and we've got who else we got? You give me that tier list. Who else do we have? Like, I mean, God forbid, Dilly and Fig, they
Dilly,
both
Mitsunas,
host
Fig,
brackets.
Sansa,
Sansa, yeah.
Myself, Bean, you, Loki, a lot.
Thunders too.
Sunky, yeah. Does some. Fate Split Set does some.
Like, there's plenty of commentators. Like, there's plenty of TOs. There's plenty of, like, Dilly again makes content, makes art. She just made that hilarious ass video where she drew and like animated a conversation me and Sansa had from our commentary block about if Raph is good or not. And that shit was hysterical when it's animated because it's just funny. And that again is like something that like just brings people in because they're like, why are two people arguing about Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Why is he good or not? You know, like, what the fuck is the context of this? Like, and in the same vein, like, you get animators for Rivals 1 stuff, and it's like hype moments, and it's like, why is like Ronald McDonald fighting Zetterburn right now? Like, or like, who is this guy he's fighting? Like, or something along the lines of like, where it's like, you always have more people than one person, so it can't be a one-man job for like building or rebuilding a community. It's always like one person that kind of leads it and says, you do this, you do that, or at the very least is doing something that brings people into the fold. And like, at least with Jazz, it's like hosting Rivals events. That's a good start, because that's essentially, for me, that's what started it. And I'm like, I need commentators, so that's like step 2 and whatnot, you know. So,
you know, trying to find commentators to stay with me has also been like kind of a problem. But I'm hoping that I'm able to kind of remedy that as I go on, because right now I am trying to run an amateur bracket. I haven't really been able to get it off the ground too well. People that have watched our podcast have probably heard me talk about it, but Pup Cup Amateur Series, I wanted to start as like a precursor to Rivals Amateur Series, or at least for Rivals 1, because we used to have something called Rivals Recess Circuit.
Yeah.
And the way
Yeah, I
Rivals
remember that.
Recess Circuit worked was that you played in pools, you got split up into main bracket, intermediate bracket, and then amateur bracket, depending on if there was enough people or not. Eventually, that just petered out into main and amateur bracket, and then it ended after, like, I want to say 8 seasons. And essentially, I wanted to bring back some sort of form of RC because it worked, and I realized, okay, here's probably some of the issues that I might run into now if I were to try and make that formula work. And it was mainly that main bracket amateur bracket split, because if people end up in amateur bracket, they're inclined like, oh, I'm not just gonna play, especially if they've won amateur bracket over and over again. So I just completely eliminated that with Pup Cup. I just had everybody moves on to the main phase. It's just that depending on how you do your pool, you do well in your pool, you start in winners of WLM. If you don't do too well in your pool, you start in losers. But by starting people that don't do too well in losers, you get to teach them how to build up their bracket stamina and all that, right?
Yeah.
So I am hoping that I don't have to put a can on Pup Cup, because I really, really, really would like to have it run more. I do believe that, again, focusing on like bringing in new people, that's exactly what I want to do with Pup Cup. So hopefully I don't have to end up canning that, and I can actually get, like, more commentators on board that they're talking about with the game to help me out as well.
Yeah. And like that is something too that I ran into, especially in NASB1. There was definitely like a time, like I think after like NASB Junior 2 or so, and this was like a weird patch too, where it was like Zim patch, and he was really broken. So that like the interest from community members to want to watch Double Zim, who just spammed Nair and jumped around a lot, was kind of not there, because he was also a zoner, so it was just like not really interesting. But like, and there were definitely times too where it's like Blackimar just not able to show up, or like other commentators that were great weren't able to show up. So it's like, you also have to find your best voices that do stick around and can commentate. Even if that doesn't exist, like, it's completely okay to get 2 people that are just happy to be there and like to be loud and like to be attempting to be funny even. And as long as they are like there, you have your community, and like it doesn't necessarily need to be like the focus, because at the end of the day, as long as your event is running well and like you make sure that it's for the players first, then that word of mouth can spread. Making sure too that's like a group effort in making this larger. Like recently I've been telling players, like, we're at the low end of the NASB cycle, guys, so we need to start really telling, like, I tell people, I'm like, if all of you find one friend to teach NASB and then get them into NASB Junior, this event is going to be larger. So it puts some of the responsibility, even if like superficial, onto other people. It's not just my responsibility to say, tweet, put all these advertisements out for NAS Junior, add the tournament pings, go. Like, come on, guys, we got into this bracket. Like, it's not just on me anymore, it's on everyone. So it's like, that's also a thing too, is just making sure it's like a community effort to build the community. And that's always something too, where it's like, however you want to do that, whether it's like telling them, hey, go find somebody, get word of mouth is really strong, or maybe like you post a tweet about it, and or a blue sky or whatever, a skeet, and you get as many people to repost it as possible or share it on Discord and whatnot too. So that way it's not just on you, because you can only do so much, and that's always challenging in and of itself.
I'd agree.
All right. Well, Shadow, Tekk, do we have any other questions for our 2 guests before we wrap this episode up? Because we got quite a lot of
We
insight
did.
here, and I really do appreciate both of you
Yeah.
for providing your input. Because I always look at the NASB community, I was like, man, why can't the Rouse community just do what they're doing?
Yep.
You guys are doing such a phenomenal job at just keeping your community engaging, bringing in new people, pushing out content, and just continuing that constant cycle of like getting people in and out of the game.
Yeah.
It's always appreciated to hear.
Thanks, really appreciate it. Glad the effort's paying off.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, I love you guys, man. It's been a pleasure to be involved with y'all for as long as I was, even though I was gone for a bit. As I always said that I was way more homie with the NASB community than I ever was with the Rivals community, and I've been involved with them bitches for 10 years. Besides like my initial, like my scene and like the handful of other people, but like it was like double or triple. Like I was like, I know all these fuckers from NASB 1. They're all fucking goofballs. I love all of them. It's super sick. Muskie's still one of my favorite players of all time. Like, that guy's amazing. And you know, one of the things that I always wish would have happened with Rivals 2 is like I wish it would have had a launch like NASB 2, where we had everything finished. You know, because that was such a complete product as opposed to Rivals 2 leaving like a sour taste in some people's mouths. But that was just a little note. But my last question is, what does the future hold for NASB 2? What majors are coming up? I don't think there's any more patches ever coming ever, right? No other patches? We never know.
Probably not.
And if you guys want to shout out upcoming players or meta shifts as a little teaser for your tier list.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Obviously, we were talking about NASB Junior. NASB Junior is it's on next weekend. So it's on the 30th. You could, I think, what time is it at? It's crossplay and starts at 6 p.m. Central Time. So it's a late one. Don't worry, it's a weekend, and it's not at that's like 4 p.m. for you, Blackimar, right? In West Coast time. Yeah. So it's like, even for like you guys, like pretty late in the West Coast. It's got about 20 entrants right now, and we'll be pushing it at the end of the week. There's no prize pool, so it's not like you're finding the sweaty people, but that's something I always like to promote. And then the next major event for us is Heatwave. So in-person event, we've been pushing that. I have a lot of secrets that we'll be revealing closer to the launch of that page, because I know it's already been announced, but I'm pretty sure that the actual like bracket page will be going up at what is it called, at Riptide? Yeah. So I'll be revealing some stuff then. So be hyped about that. And then definitely shout out to like Thunders. Definitely shout out to Zoom, who's been pushing LT Gray. That character's hilarious. And then
The F tier character, right?
Yeah. Same one. Same one.
Put him in F tier next tier list. So so Skeptic can feel vindicated. I told you.
Also, one more shout out. Shout out to Bean, who's been pushing Squidward and Mr. Krabs lately.
Oh, hell yeah.
I miss Mr. Krabs so much. I miss Devin Swims. I know he's still around, but I miss seeing him in bracket. So seeing Krabs do well, seeing Bean place top 3 at like an online major, and like fucking Squidward side B is just hilarious. Like, I love watching the bold and brash take out the trash, you know? It's so awesome.
There's always like little meta shifts coming, you know, like Thunder's exploring like unexplored characters like Raphael or Iroh and Gnarl Garfield, for example.
Yeah.
FPZ is a big one. Formerly our best Rocco. He's been mating Rocksteady and like trying to change people's like impression of him. He's really good too. And
he's hilariously good.
It's so funny. I think that character's ass, by the way, but he makes him work. I don't know how the fuck he does it.
Somehow he does.
Funny. That character is so funny.
Who else? Frozen Cavern. Shout out Frozen Cavern. Definitely making waves with Raphael too. Pretty newish player for the scene. You know, I've been exciting watching him sort of already challenge people. Rowan came back. He's kind of been pushing Gerald a lot, because basically I was the only person playing Gerald and I commentate everything, so I can't really compete. But it was cool to see him. You know, it's been cool to see him like compete in stuff with Gerald, place people's impressions of the character again. Yeah, it's a really cool game, a really balanced game too. So it's like a lot of room for characters to like grow, be explored, and like have success in the meta. And we're always seeing that. It's so cool.
That's so sick. This podcast, I'm just grinning, bro. This shit's so fire. It's a huge throwback, and then also just hearing about all the stuff that I missed and all the improvements that y'all have made. It's just been it's been a pleasure. I'm glad that we finally got this episode out. I've been super hyped for it. I've been talking about it for how long have I been talking about this, Jazz? Like 2-3 weeks now?
Yeah, probably.
We've been planning, I'm like, bro, the NASB episode going to go crazy. And I don't think we have any questions in chat, but if anybody does before we sign off, because we are winding down here. But, yeah. I think it's interesting how, like, a player like Thunders is like, oh, well, I want to push this character this week. Or, like, how you guys still have this crazy meta shift, and like how you were putting out tier list, and you're like, yeah, but this 40-page patch dropped however long ago, but we've had like 3 different fucking tier lists since then, because like it's not solved, as opposed to like, yeah, Rivals is on like a every 2 week or a month big patch, and it changes things, but they're like day 2. You know, like when apps drop, this bitch bottom 1. This bitch bottom 1.
It was
It's
figured out.
over. She's the worst.
Yeah.
It's figured it out, bro. It's just,
Wrap
she's
it
too
up.
slow.
It's-
Like when that
it's
happened
over.
for Krabs, when Krabs came out, people say he was bottom 1 when Krabs came out, and like a month later, Krabs was like top 10. Like it just doesn't happen like NASB. Like I'm saying, like Garfield bottom 5, now he's considered top 5. Like
It's when you look at the community tier list we made, literally, he's like not exaggerating. The first community tier list we made, Garfield was bottom 5. This one, he's like number 10, I think, right now.
That's fucking
and
funny.
he should be higher. He
He should be high. I
higher.
agree too. But people stuck in the always thinking, bro. You feel me?
Sir Sunky. Sir Sunky.
That's fucking dope. Oh shit.
God.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna about do it. So Shadow, Jazz, any last words before we close out?
Shadow, I'll let you go
Particular,
first.
Not in particular, but honestly, I just wanted to say like this has been a pretty great episode. I'm glad to see more perspectives from other plot fighter communities and other people in those communities. Because funny enough, I was gonna make a mention of this like an hour or so ago, but we seem to be on the same page when it comes to like Smash Brothers events in general, in terms of just like understanding that we are our own game and we should at least go to places that are actually willing to take us and not try to like jump hoops around it. Because like even from like everyone else's perspective, like universally we all agree that like the FCC events have been treating us a lot better.
Yeah.
Like that much is a fact. But yeah,
You
no,
guys,
that
like,
overall good
sorry to
episode.
interrupt your thoughts, but like, it's just too dope and too big as well of a game to just be constantly saddled in that second place seat if y'all feeling like, oh, I'm gonna treat it like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say in that regard. Jazz, you got anything?
No, not really. I kind of said what I had said earlier already. Again, Blackimar, Cherry, thank you so much for coming on to this episode. Really insightful. I know Tekk was having a good time, and I hopefully, we can all meet each other at Heatwave, Tekk included. I do definitely want to get out to Heatwave 8,
Same.
this November. Because, I got flown out to Heatwave 6 thanks to the compendium stuff. I had a good time. I was kind of sad I couldn't make it to 7, so I really want to make sure I get out to Heatwave 8.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Arizona, a beautiful place and a wonderful community. So it's always good to see Rivals and NASB side by side at that event. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up tonight's episode. I hope you all enjoyed our catch up on our previous episodes on my YouTube channel as well as my Spotify, and we'll probably drop links for those real quick before we do end. And Blackimar, Cherry, where can the people follow you at or find you at?
You want me to go first, or do you want to go first? Yeah.
got it.
All right. You're so nice. I'm literally Cherry NASB on everything except Discord and Reddit. So on Discord, I'm Chafuga, but I mean, you can still find me with Cherry NASB. Just on everything: Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Like, use my Rivals 2 creator code is Cherry NASB. So if you want to help support me, you can do that too. Shout out to Rivals, both 1 and 2. I like Fleet. That's usually who I play. I like Fleet. I play Forsburn a little bit, but only on the 2 plat stage because I like to tech chase. That's about it.
What do I gotta get you? What do I gotta get you to do to fight Outcast to split? Because he needs to get more on the Fleet Gauntlet.
That's fine.
I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Shout out y'all having us, dude. I'm Blackimar64 everywhere. You can find me commentating games, talking about them, being a dork and shit. I make music, shout out the music crew, Nerd Night Music. This stuff out. Like Forsborn, Burn and Rano right now. Yeah, I'm like having trouble though, dude. I can't I don't really have a main. I feel like I'm a lock forever, if that makes sense. Because I like Rano, I like Forsburn, but I don't love him. I'm like waiting for Malo because Malo's a character like she came out or he came out.
Ooh.
Sorry, he came out and I thought he was so fucking sick. But like I don't play this game enough to be a nerd about him. But like if there's a sequel and he comes back, we going crazy and like that's currently the one I'm waiting for. Dan said his item characters. You know I'm rubbing my hands together like a Mario fan. You feel me?
Yeah, I can't wait for Z dropping. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm so hyped.
And then we can Z drop our opponents like NASB 1. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's do it.
Please, come on, command grabs. Add the command grabs. Why doesn't Craig have that? Well, I guess he does. But...
He's got the
He
cube.
does.
I'm
Dude,
Yeah,
if
the
Fleet,
cube.
but if Fleet just grabs Craig, puts her together her head like this. I'm like, nigga, I'm dying laughing, bro.
Yeah, that shit gonna be so funny. That'd be mad funny if that actually happened. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm just waiting for Hodon. After that, the chains are off, and I'm spending my time in the lab and I'm figuring all that shit out.
I feel
bro.
you.
I'm doing it.
I've always said I'm quitting when Sylvanos comes out. Once Sylvanos comes out, I'm never playing Rivals 2 again. I'll go back to Rivals 1. I'll play Crag in that game because
We'll throw down. Hell yeah, I'm always down to play R1. But yeah, dude, thanks again, guys. And for everybody else that's either watching the VOD or listening, next week we're gonna be talking about Collision and maybe like one or two other topics. Hasn't been quite figured out yet, but
Mostly gonna be Collision recap, Riptide preview. We'll probably figure out a third topic if need be. But pretty much back to our usual talking about events, because my goodness, there's just a lot of events in the past couple of months, these past 2 months really. So lot to talk about. But hopefully after that the events will be more evenly spaced out, and we can fill in some other topics like more grab bag episodes. And if you did enjoy us branching out to NASB and talking about that, let us know in the YouTube comments or the Spotify comments what game you want us to branch out to next and who you want our guest speakers to be. With that being said, this concludes tonight's episode. Have a great night, everybody, and we shall see you all next week.
bye bye.
Take care.